stop hating on Snow White. Just stop, please. Please, for the sake of everything that is holy, stop hating on Snow White. Now you're probably saying to yourself, Joe, what are you talking about? Joe, that movie sucks. That movie is going... Everybody hates that movie. I know. It's super woke. Everything that's wrong with it, everybody's already pointed out from watching the trailer, which I have on the screen right now. Now I say, stop hating on it, because that's exactly what they want you to do, okay? That's exactly what they had planned whenever they cast the main character, okay? I'm not going to say why, everybody knows why, but that's the trap that they want you to fall into, so that people on YouTube come out and say, what? Snow White? She's white. Her skin's white as snow. And her lips are red as I forget what, red as a freaking cherry or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's why they cast Rachel Zegler in the role, because she's not white. And they want you to come out and say, oh my God, she's not white, so that you sound like a racist. And that's exactly what's going on. I just watched a video by Ben Shapiro, and he fell for that exact trap. That's like one of the first things he said in his video about the trailer. He's like, well, Snow White is in fact white, and Rachel Zegler is in fact not white. Like he just could not help himself. We gotta stop hating on Snow White, because that's what they want. They want you to hate on Snow White and say everything that's wrong with it. That's blatantly obvious, because Snow White, the character, is in fact white. But we're not going to be talking about that, because they want you to sound like a redneck racist, basically, so that they can act like a victim. Okay, they can go around and write articles just like this one that I have pulled up and say how racist everyone is, act like a victim, and virtue signal. Now, why would Disney waste all this money on a movie, like a big budget movie? This is like a big budget movie, very expensive to make. Why would they waste all this money on this? Because it gets them points, it gets them, that BlackRock money flowing, baby. That's some good money right there. You know what I mean? They're going to make money regardless. They're going to release this movie. Or there's another possibility that I thought of today. They already basically reshot the whole thing after the first trailer came out, and the dwarves were like regular people. It was like a diverse cast of just like normal height people, which we want to see dwarves. We want to see, little people. Oh, speaking of the little people too, hold on. I gotta say this. The little people in this movie look like something out of a dream. Something, they look terrifying. They look evil. I don't like them. They don't look like the dwarves from the original movie at all, which those are some good character designs right there. But they really screwed that up, man. I mean, at first they started way off base with like the regular sized people, and then they switched to like CGI, and it looks awful. The reason that they didn't hire little people in that movie was the reason that I gave you 2 years ago on this channel, this very channel. I exposed Peter Dinklage, the Dink. I exposed him for complaining about Disney as the biggest little person actor that you can get. Complained and moaned on an interview, and I'll have the link up to that video right here. Now don't make fun of me, okay? I was a little bit overweight back then. I was a little overweight, but it's okay. The words I said were just as important. And yeah, it's an interesting video. He complained, so they tried to cast like regular sized people, but everybody hated that. So now they have these like just terrible looking models that they use for the CGI. I don't understand. Just make them look like exactly like the drawings from back in the day. Their defense for casting Rachel Zegler as the titular character is going to be, well, the story's about vanity. It's about having a pure heart, which is true, but also you can't really get past that character description. So it's a blatant, it's a blatant woke thing that they did, and they want you to talk about it. They want you to point everything out about the movie. Get on there and subscribe if you haven't yet. I have this article pulled up, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. Like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew everybody was going to come out and be like, oh, she's not white. She's not white. The actress has a YouTube channel, which she, like, cries on regularly, I guess. Like, I went and watched one of her videos, and she just, like, cries on there because she's a self-absorbed actress, and she's like, whatever. She's very vain to be playing the part of Snow White. But yeah, she cries a lot. She's an SJW, and they cast the perfect person for that role, for their intentions for this movie, I would say, because then anything that they hear, they could be like, oh, there's racists attacking Rachel Zegler, and then she can go on camera and cry. Yeah. This article's by NPR. The trailer for Disney's Snow White remake has some people very grumpy. We're so grumpy. In this article, they show the trailer from the D23 Expo. Disney's Expo just came out. Could this update to the 1937 classic be the fairest of them all? It might be a tough sell for Disney fans and other extremely online critics, I don't know what that means, whose scrutiny of the latest adaptation began years before the trailer dropped. Snow White is not white enough. That's the first thing they say, of course. When the news broke 2021 that Zegler, which is a very white name, who had her breakout role as Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story remake, would be playing the titular character, it provoked a string of racist comments on social media. People question why an actress of Latin descent would be playing a character with skin as white as snow. Zegler, who is of Polish-Colombian background, responded to comments by saying, nonsensical discourse. I really, truly do not want to see it, Zegler wrote in a post that included photos of her as a child dressed as a princess. I hope every child knows they can be a princess no matter what. A reimagination deemed too woke by some critics. Everybody knows it's woke. Every single person who's seen the trailer knows that it's woke, and it's a mess. In another interview with Variety in 2022, Zegler and Gadot talked about how the story of Snow White... Oh, well, let me talk about Gadot for a minute, because Gadot being cast in the role of the evil queen is good casting. You know, it's pretty good casting. And everybody's also saying as well that she's more attractive than Rachel Zegler. Yes, that's what they want you to say too. Listen, you're feeding their machine. All these decisions were made on purpose in order to make you look like the bad guy. By the way, in the original film, dude, the original 1939 or whatever 7 film, the evil queen was way hotter than Snow White to me. Okay, as a kid, I could even tell as a kid, I was like, wow, she's way hotter, guys. She's way hotter. So it's just like, I don't know, because she is, man. What the heck? It's also about a heart as white as snow, which Ziegler's heart doesn't seem like it's white as snow to me. Just from the things that she's saying and tweeting, that's just how she looks to me from the internet. I don't know her personally, but you know, I'm sure she's a nice person. Gal Gadot said she's a proactive one. She's the one who sets the terms that make it so relevant today. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. What girl dreams about true love? She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. Okay, that's not... Oh, that was... Zegler said that, but that's not the story at all. That's not in the movie at all. Oh my, then she called the prince a stalker in that one interview. I'm sure you've seen it, but it was an interview on a carpet somewhere, and she was like, the prince was a stalker. They should just cut all the men's parts out. Just cut them all out. You know, she's a radical whatever. They hired her on purpose because they knew exactly the things that she was going to say. They knew what kind of person she was, and you're falling right into their trap what's the third reason they give here? Oh, a backwards story about the seven dwarfs. So the seven dwarfs, she makes them clean their own house because she's a strong female. She's an independent woman. So she makes the men clean. Of course, 2022 interview with Peter Dinklage criticized Disney over its plan to release a live-action remake, stating he was taken aback. I was taken aback by the studio's celebration of casting Zegler as a Latina lead, while revisiting a story with an unflattering representation to dwarves. So he's like, oh, they cast a brown girl to play a white? And then he's like, why are they casting little people as dwarves? And I said why in that video, if you watch it. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way and you're still making that effing backward story. Dinklage's comments prompted Disney to release a statement. Oh, so they actually did release a statement then and decided to take a different approach to not offend, to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, the dwarfism community, blah blah blah. That's the article. There it is. What do you think about that? What do you think about my take on that? I think I'm right, as always. Usually right on these videos. I don't think anybody likes this movie. Nobody that's complaining about this movie online it was actually gonna see it. A very small percentage of the people are actually angry about this. Like, I wasn't gonna go see it. It's freaking Snow White. It's not a movie that's made for me. I mean, but at the same time, you should still, talk about things that are messing up the culture. You know what I mean? Like, we're rewriting stories about Snow White, redefining what that story means, and just making a big mess of it. The original was a very important movie for film and animation, of course. It was like the first animated movie. And it's a timeless story. Like, I think it was Zegler who said that we're just updating it for the times, for the new times, so it's relatable. But it's not. Look, it's a timeless story. It's way older than Disney. Stop hating on it. Stop saying everything that they want you to say, because all it's doing is taking internet critics' credibility away, basically, because then they can just say that you're racist. So we're gonna do what we want, and they will do what they want anyway. So those are my thoughts on the Snow White trailer. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you for listening, and subscribe, because we got more videos coming out. A bunch of videos every week. We'll see you in the next one.